to the Just Face It podcast. Today is October 20th, 2019. And as usual with me, I have my fellow co-host, the Psychos Crast. And as our guest today, we've got a MadQueen88 from over on Twitch.
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing today?
All right. So how long have you been streaming over on Twitch?
I've been streaming to Twitch on and off, maybe for 2.5 years, going on 3 now. Kind of bounce back and forth between streaming on Twitch and also creating content on YouTube. And YouTube is kind of where I got started. And then the live stream thing came across me, and I'm like, okay, I want to try this because editing video is kicking my butt, and it's so much easier just to turn on the start streaming button and just go. So yeah, the better part of 2 to 3 years.
Very, very nice. What's your what's kind of like your favorite thing about streaming so far, or have you had like a favorite moment, anything like that?
There's so many favorite moments because my niche of streaming is zombie survival games or zombie games. So it's always some sort of jump scare or something really funny happening while I'm trying to survive, and my chat just goes crazy over just the funniest things. And so it's just a bunch of inside jokes and stuff like that. So kind of building a relationship with your chat while you're going through something either very terrifying or very intense is one of the best things about streaming for me.
Awesome. And since you stream mainly on Twitch, is there one thing, like if you could talk to like the Twitch owners right now, like one thing you want them to do or improve on the website, what would it be?
I would improve the ability to customize your channel and the widgets that you use on your channel to kind of make it more personalized to your brand. And even when it comes down to creating, emotes and art for your channel, some of those things takes time to update. Like I've created some emotes the other day and it takes like 5 days pending for them to review it, I guess, and send it back. I guess they're reviewing them one by one as people submit them. And so it takes a long time to kind of get that up. And if you want to make a change to your emote, you don't want to wait like 10 days for them to figure out whether you can use it or not. So if that process could be more streamlined, I think that'd be great. So I'd tell them that.
Right on. All right. Well, so we've kind of had a bit of a slower news week. So I think we'll just dive right into it. Our first big bit of news this week is, let me pull it up. Microsoft has dropped some news that they are planning on putting out some new content filters to stop the swears over on Xbox Live. I'm part of the Xbox Alpha ring, whatever they call it now, their preview. So it actually popped up on mine the other day. So I kind of got a bit of a look on it. I haven't actually tested it out. I need to get some Xbox friends to start sending me some nasty worded messages to see actually how it filters stuff out. But basically from what I saw, they give you basically 3 tiers of filtering. You can keep it just the same as how it's always been. It's not going to filter anything out. Or they've kind of got a moderate one where it's going to take out some of the really nasty stuff, or only the really nasty stuff. And then they've got it strict where it's pretty much just going to censor everything. Right now it's just text-based filtering, so it's only going to be private messages. But good news if you're one of those people that get nasty worded messages at the end of a Call of Duty match, which I think pretty much everyone's experienced that on Xbox. It should filter some of that stuff out. But the big thing is they're planning on implementing filters for voice at some point, which I am curious to see how that's going to roll out. I would like just the stereotypical loud comical beep, going on. Anytime someone swears, that'll just make me giggle the whole time I'm playing.
I said Pop-Tart though.
I'm kind of concerned about the voice side of it Only because, if you're talking to a party of just your friends and you guys are BSing around and saying different things that you say as a group of friends or whatever it is, you don't want, Xbox Live to randomly just like, I don't know, disperse the party or block you or someone in your party simply because you said something that in that realm of context is not derogative or bad. So I'll be interested to see how is it applied. Is it only applied when you're playing multiplayer with randoms, or will it be applied to your party, or like how will they do that?
Well, that's the thing. It's not going to be. I think you're thinking of it in kind of like the streamer perspective of like if you say a bad word on stream, there's a chance you might get banned. It's not that. It's supposed to be like it's literally just going to filter out that one word that you say,
I
like,
see.
and
So
it's not going to apply to party chat. They're talking more as far as the voice filtering goes. They're talking more about in-game chat.
right.
So like you boot up an arena game shooter or whatever, and you just hear somebody with you always hear like that person with the bad mic going on, and then you just randomly hear him. Yeah, you randomly hear him swear or something like that. Like it's more focused on filtering those people out. I think actually in game. I don't think it applies to party chat with just your friends, and they weren't saying anything about like actually banning. You would have to go and actually report that person just
That's
like
true.
you would now. If somebody sends you a nasty worded message, you can go and report them for harassment or whatever they have on there.
I'm reporting everyone.
Right. That's cool and all, but they're gonna put this in place, and they can't stop like random bots from sending you a message saying, "Hey, I just broke up with my ex-boyfriend." Da, 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 da. Like, can we put a stop to that first, and then try to?
Yeah. I hardly ever turn on my Xbox anymore, and I still get those messages. Every once in a while, I'll get something popping up on my PC saying so-and-so wants to add you, and it'll be like a picture of a woman in a bikini, and I'm like, I'm sure that's real.
Here we go.
Completely real. 100%.
I'm sure she really wants to be my friend.
Trust them all the time. You have value.
Yeah. I would like to see the bot crackdown first. I can agree with you there.
But yeah, this is cool. I definitely think it would help for those like even people that play Overwatch and stuff, which has a lot of negative sides to it, especially if you do use game chat, if you're not in a party and with your friends. Text wise, I feel like the best way to kind of counteract that is to just not have your messages open where people can just message you. That's my first line of defense for things like that.
Yeah.
But people that want to leave them open, you're kind of leaving yourself out there for that type of abuse in a sense. So I don't know. Just gotta protect yourself.
I probably handle that. I think I handle that a little bit differently. I actually invite the random messages, and then I kind of have fun with it. Or the kind of when people are just being jerks in games like Overwatch. I kind of have fun with it because most of those people who send those messages, I have found are not the most clever in their retorts. So I just kind of, it's probably not the correct way or the best way to promote love and sensitivity on the internet. But I like to poke fun at it, have fun with it.
Can we get it for Counter-Strike? Or
Yikes.
League?
Yeah, League would be good.
Crashed.
But I mean, the important part of this too is like you yourself define the parameters. It's not Microsoft's not defining the parameters for you. Like I said, there's a few different like sensitivity settings, I guess we'll call them. The open, strict, moderate. So you can kind of define what you want. I'll have to test it out though and get back to y'all on it.
One person will be like, I want all the nastiness. Just leave it on the highest setting of derogatory terms. Leave it on the highest.
I'm gonna have you send me just a sort of like a list of words you feel are bad, and I'm going to put it on strict, and we'll see what happens. I'm curious to see, or strict and moderate. I'm curious to see how they filter it out.
I do like the idea if you're a parent. Like, I don't like my daughter, even in Minecraft, my daughter gets messages like that all the time. So, but everything else just send directly to me. I want to see it. I want it all.
It is a good move for parents, and I'm glad, because I'm always surprised, like when I'll be I don't hear it as much when I'm playing like PC and stuff like that, but when you're on Xbox, like that's more accessible to children. Most homes seem to have an Xbox or a PlayStation or stuff like that, so you'll always hear like younger kids over and open mics, and I'm always kind of wondering how different generation, I guess, but how do your parents let you play this game?
I think it's the generation before us, the parents that don't know about this kind of stuff, or parents that aren't gamers. Because my daughter is not allowed to have the Xbox in her bedroom, and I need to always know what she's playing. Like, even sometimes she'll play Roblox, and you know how Roblox is kind of like an open source thing. Anybody can create stuff. So if I see that she's doing something weird or in some game that seems like just a little off, I'm like, oh no, we got to turn this off. So yeah, I think a lot of management from the parents needs to come as some sort of protection as well. If they're just letting their kids get on here and mouth off to people, they need to fix that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know how many times I've heard kids say stuff, and I'm like, I don't even say words like that.
Who taught
You're
you
8 years old. How do you know that word? That's a new one to me.
Right.
I taught them. My bad.
Justin's teaching him.
Right.
Father of the year.
If you ever come across Mockingjays, this is what you have to say to him.
Immediately.
Nice.
Just this list. I don't know what any of these means. It's okay. Neither does he.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a good tool. I hopefully it'll help some parents kind of filter some stuff out, give them a little bit more control. And honestly, if you just don't want to talk to anybody, it's a good tool for you, I think, as well.
That's what I choose to
do. So on to our next little bit of news. Riot Games has announced that they are putting out 2 new titles, 2 new IPs, which is a pretty big move for them. They've been a lot in the news a lot this year, it seems like. They're going to be putting out a new competitive first-person shooter and a new fighting game. They haven't given tons of details about it, but it's the first time Riot Games has ever developed a game outside of League of Legends. So it's going to be kind of an important move for them, an exciting move, because League of Legends is a huge game. I'm kind of excited to see what their first-person shooter is. I don't know about you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of hoping it's a hero shooter, a more Overwatch style kind of thing. I think it would be good competition for Overwatch, because League of Legends is used to making heroes anyways, making characters like this, so it seems like it would be a natural fit.
Yeah. Are these videos of it, if you scroll down further, or is this an already existing game?
The way down there, those are already existing games.
Oh, okay. I was like, this looks neat.
Yeah, no. Those are yeah, it says recommended videos.
Okay.
Just for PC gamer.
Right. But yeah, definitely everyone's trying to come up with some sort of Overwatch killer, in a sense. Not necessarily to kill Overwatch, but wanting to have that same success that Overwatch was able to pull with such a simple game. Like, it started off so simple, just, a team of 6, you guys go out against the other team, try to claim an objective, boom, and it blew up into this whole hero-based team platform that is competitive now, and I think everyone's trying to get onto it. Even the creators of Hellblade, what's their name?
Oh, you're talking about Bleeding Edge?
Bleeding Edge, yeah.
Yeah, Ninja Theory?
Ninja Theory, yeah. Even they're trying to jump in and create something to kind of compete on the same platform as Overwatch, and I think it's a good idea. I think it's good to kind of have that competition. Even ones that are less well known, Paladins is doing a great job as well. Even though it doesn't have the exact same following as Overwatch, it's still a great competitive team based, hero based game. So yeah, I'd be excited to see what they can do, especially since they already have such interesting characters in League of Legends. I feel like they can definitely pull it off with some new character styles in a first person shooter.
Now, I think Nintendo needs to get on board on this because I would love to see Link running around with a pistol shooting Mario in the face. That's personally my fantasy, but that would be great.
Nintendo Overwatch style game.
Yeah, I always thought that like Marvel could do an Overwatch style game with their heroes, quite honestly. And I think that would work really good. Or even if they did, I'm trying to remember the name of Epic's Paragon. If they did a game like Paragon, I think that would work really well too. I'm not an Overwatch fan. Like I played it, it's fun. I just don't get it. I don't get MOBAs at all. And since that's like a MOBA shooter, it's just like okay.
Yeah, I'm excited for it to do it. I mean, really, the only competition with Overwatch right now, the only other thing is like kind of in that same arena are Paladins, which hasn't quite received the same fame as Overwatch, even though Paladins actually came out before Overwatch.
Yeah, it did. You're right.
And what was the other one I was thinking of?
There was that one failed.
Yeah, from a Gearbox.
Yeah,
that made me really sad. That came out at the same time as Overwatch, even though that was a lot different than Overwatch. I think it was more MOBA. It was a MOBA first person shooter where Overwatch isn't like that. Overwatch is more like Team Fortress, I would say, is where it finds its early roots.
At exactly the same time, was it Bloodborne or something?
Yeah,
like
Bloodborne. That? Yeah, that's the one from Gearbox, the Borderlands creators.
Right.
Yeah, and that had MOBA aspects to it. Like you would take and control capture points, and that would allow you to buy upgrades to your character. And it was that tug of war that a MOBA like League of Legends has. It just everybody thought it was a crappier version than Overwatch. I didn't think so. I thought it was good. I thought it had some really interesting characters in it, and it had Borderlands humor in it. But it died instead. Yeah. It's free to play, but you're not going to find anyone to play with.
What is that? Drawn. It was like a hand-drawn looking comic book style shooter. Oh, I can't. Drawn Dead or something like that. I can't even think of the name. That was out for a little bit. And then there was another one that was kind of like they were in space and it was like gravity, and that one kind of fell flat too. So it's like everyone is trying to recreate what Overwatch did, and just not, like you said, receiving the same love that Overwatch has. And I think for the most part with Overwatch, Blizzard is just really good about really good character design, and then also building that lore behind the characters that kind of draw people in and make you want to love your favorite hero even more, based on the bits and pieces of lore that they drop in. So I know I feel like League, if anyone can do it, League can probably do it. League of Legends.
I think so too. And these like hero shooters, these games focuses on heroes. They stick around for a long time. Overwatch has been around for a long time. Team Fortress 2 still has tons of people in it, and that's it's been around for how long now? All my Rainbow Six friends get really mad at me when I say this, but I throw Rainbow Six in that same quality. Even though it's a military shooter, it's still a hero shooter. It's still focusing on hero operators.
Right.
And that game has just grown and taken way off because they put the time and Ubisoft put the time and the effort into it. So I think there's success to be found in any sort of these hero things. And I think it's because of that. People love the lore. They love the character design. They get really into it. I mean, how many cosplayers DC. I
Right.
always see him on. I see a lot of cosplayers for Overwatch, for League of Legends, Rainbow Six. They love getting into. They love getting into that. So I don't know.
They just
Hopefully it'll do
identify with
well.
these characters and based on their stories and what they look like, and so yeah, I think so. I think you're right about that.
Yeah, I hope it. I hope it does well. It'll be interesting to see. I also hope that other game you brought up, Bleeding Edge, does well too. I got into the alpha of it and I played a little bit of it. Can't talk much about it, but fingers crossed. Ninja Theory is a good developer.
Yeah, I got to touch it on at E3 and it felt good. It's more melee based, which I
Yeah,
think is interesting, even though there's still characters with range. It felt good just like jumping in. And I think the element of the environment also being an enemy makes it that much more interesting. Whereas in Overwatch, the only environmental element is possibly falling off of the map. That's like really
pretty
the only thing
much.
you have to worry about. But in Bleeding Edge, you have to worry about other parts of the map that can be potentially deadly to you.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm honestly more excited for the fighting game, but fighting games are my jam. So
Nice.
I'm interested to see what they'll do with that too. Is it going to be more of a Smash Bros type thing? Or is it going to be more like Mortal Kombat type thing?
Mm-hmm.
Curious, but we'll see. These games are a long ways off. They haven't really teased much about it. They just said they're working on it. So hopefully we'll see some more soon. But I wouldn't expect, a release in the next year, or even after that. It'll probably be a ways from now.
Mm-hmm.
On to our next bit of news. Bethesda has come out and said that their Fallout 76 human NPC update is going to be delayed into the next year. So sad news for Fallout 76 players. More sad news, unfortunately. But on the bright side, private servers are going to be coming to the game next week, which has been a highly requested feature for the game.
Well, I have a friend that is just a Fallout head. She loves Fallout, and she has been so disappointed with this whole thing. Like, they didn't get their bags. When they did get their bags, it was like it didn't look anything like the bag that was expected. And it just seems like everything that Bethesda comes and says they're going to fix or change, it always gets pushed back or, whatever it is. And I just can't imagine the disappointment. And while I haven't played it myself, I have watched a few people play it on stream. And what sucks is that it actually looks fun. It looks like it can be a really, really good game if they get their stuff together. But yeah, this is just like another setback. And one thing about playing any Bethesda game, whether it's Fallout or Skyrim, the NPCs give life to the game. Like,
yeah.
I loved all the NPCs in Skyrim, and the only Fallout that I've played is Fallout 4, and the NPCs in that game, gave it a certain feel and life to it. So the fact that they just completely missed this mark from development of the game in the first place is just like, why? Like, what were you really trying to do? So yeah, I mean, I hope they get it together. I hope, maybe if they make a second edition to this game, that it'll have everything intact and ready to be played.
My hope and my thought is they're just doing it to polish it off and make sure that it is what everybody wants. It is an MMO, so my big fear of it coming out has been how glitchy is it going to be, how messed up is it going to be when it comes out, because it's Bethesda. Let's be fair. When their games first come out, they are not very polished. Fallout 4 had some huge, scary facial disappearances on their NPCs when it first came out. Skyrim had a lot of issues with their NPCs when it first came. Skyrim still has some weird glitches, even going back and playing till this day. I've got 137 hours into Fallout 76 now. I've played a lot, and I've been waiting for this for this update to come out. And of course, I was saddened when I heard it was delayed. But if it's to make sure that everything's going to work really well when it first comes out, I'll be okay. If it's still a glitchy mess when it comes out, I might have to second guess my playing of the game. But
yeah, I can understand that. That is disappointing, especially if you were a day one purchaser. And to what is it? It's been a year or two, almost a year and a half now, that you guys have all been waiting to get, bits and pieces of the game that you paid for like a year ago. It's like, come on now. Yeah, I mean, I'm wishing the best. I love Bethesda. I love the stories that they put out with these games, and so I hope they get it together, and then maybe I'll pick it up. But that's part of the reason why I haven't picked it up just yet, is because I kind of felt like it was not going to be that well put together game that everyone would want from a Bethesda game, on top of adding the multiplayer experience to it. It tears games apart. And I mean, me being someone that loves a game called State of Decay, they worked really hard in the second game to bring in multiplayer, when for me just kind of messed up the experience. And I kind of see that here with Fallout 76. So yeah, I don't know.
my only hope is ESO was a mess when it came out. And after ZeniMax took over ESO, it's actually a fantastic MMO. So maybe they'll just hand it over to ZeniMax and we can have the same experience.
I mean, my issue with Fallout 76, like I want it to be good because it is a gorgeous game, but my issue with it is, and even after these last couple updates, it's like they're trying to do everything and not really excelling at one thing. It is what I feel like. They put in the multiplayer, they've put in the crafting, they've got little bits all over this PvP, then they put in the battle royale, but none of it really stands out as this is amazing. This is why I play this game, is because of this mode. Whereas other games, if you hop into like I don't know, like MMOs or hybrids or stuff like that, they're like, okay, I hop in and I play this game. Yeah, I do all this other stuff, but this quest and stuff, but I hop in because of the PvP, or I love running dungeons or stuff like that. And anything with MMO kind of qualities to that has to have at least that one aspect that draws you in, that gets you hooked on. And I haven't really felt that with Fallout 76. Anybody I've talked to, they haven't really, seems like they haven't really felt that that draw, that hook. But that's what it's always felt to me. Like they've got all these things you can do in it, but none of it feels super amazing. And this NPC update, this is something that needed to be in there since day one. It feels so empty. The world is gorgeous, but there's no one to talk to. You go around and you talk to computer terminals or run into a random player every couple hours.
Have you gone possum hunting yet?
I have not. I can't say that I have done that.
You're missing it, because until you've had awesome opossum bacon, you're not really playing the game.
Okay, I'll make sure if I pick it up, that's the first thing I'm going to do.
I don't know
possum hunting.
I don't know what draws me to it other than it's a Fallout game, quite honestly.
And I think that's where my issue is. It doesn't feel like a Fallout game to me. But I'm also, I don't know, I feel like I'm part of the old crowd where Fallout 3 and 4 don't really feel like a Fallout game to me. I'm used to playing like the old ones.
I like 3.
New Vegas was the only one that really felt like a Fallout game to me.
New Vegas was good. 4 was okay.
Yeah. Anyways, on to our next bit of news. This is kind of a continuation from what we were talking about a few episodes ago. SpaceX, we talked about it before. They are launching 12,000 satellites into space. That's going to be about a third of the orbit of current internet satellites. Their plan is to bring cheaper, more widespread internet access. It's going to be a lot higher quality, considering it's at lower altitude. 12,000 satellites was already a considerable number to be launching, considering there's only less than 1,000 satellites in space right now. But SpaceX has just come out and said, we don't think 12,000 is enough, we're going to be launching another 30,000. Yeah.
I mean, are they little? I mean, I think that's the biggest, like, what are the size of these things? Like, I feel like, yeah, 30,000 of like really large items being flown up, hovering above us is probably not the best idea. But if they're smaller, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I'd say like most satellites, I don't know. They're probably the size of your living room behind you. Like they're not, they're not big like monstrosities, but they're not, like handheld. But in terms of space and orbit around it, even something that's as big as a house really isn't that big. But
until it falls on you.
Yeah, well, they talked about that was one thing that this article talked about it from Ars Technica. Was that they're all going to be designed to burn up on it reentry, which is pretty standard practice for satellites anymore. Early satellites didn't do that. Some of the ones built in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. But they learned their lesson decades ago about it.
Terribly, I imagine.
It's a lot of satellites, though. I mean, like there's I think only 900 in orbit right now, and that's including all governments, private companies, all that kind of stuff. Like that's going from 900 satellites to what 42,000.
Yeah.
That's a jump. But it's all in the name of better internet. So
yeah,
I understand why they would think that 12,000 wasn't enough. I mean, the world. Everybody says the world is small, but it is big. There's a lot.
Big. There's a lot of space.
A lot of people and a lot of countries you have to try to get internet into. So,
well, and you think about it, it's like the way GPS is used, like triangulation. They hit up 3 satellites. So the further those satellites are spread out, the harder it is for you to get a signal to actually get your GPS or whatever else is using triangulation. It's harder for it to receive a signal. But the more satellites you have up there, I mean, it's basic logic. Be easier to get that signal. So I think they're running this whole Starlink expansion on sort of that basic logic. Right. Hopefully it works.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of that, like, I guess weighing the pros and cons of, whether that many is too many, or if we're using it in a way where we would get internet to countries that are, still in the dark in a sense. A lot of countries don't have internet or even have electricity in some instances. So kind of trying to make the world smaller in a sense of connectivity and getting it to where everybody can be on the internet and communicating and exchanging ideas and so on. So I think if that's the reason, they want to just expand the internet access, then I'm for it. I just hope that there is some damage control. Like you said, they're created for if they fall through out the sky, they'll burn up on impact or whatever. But what does it say about blocking out the sun? Will it do anything like that? Will we be able to see them?
No, no, I don't think we have to worry about that. You're not even going to see them, even on the brightest, clearest days. Even with that many, they'd all have to be directly in front of the sun. You'd probably have to have 100,000 for it, like directly in front of the sun to actually do anything. And even then, it'd probably just look like a shadow.
Are you sure Elon Musk is not trying to contact the aliens and he just needs more power?
I'm not sure what Elon Musk is trying to do. I'm not sure anyone is. I'm not sure he knows what he's trying to do.
Let him contact the aliens.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. Hopefully it pans out. I know there's this big push that's kind of been going on lately from all of the other countries. Like last week, we talked about Microsoft is pushing to get cheap, affordable internet access to third world countries and a large portion of Africa. And we talked about it's only 53% of the world's population right now has internet access, which really isn't a whole lot for how long the internet's been around now. Mm-hmm. But that number keeps going up. Hopefully with programs like this, it will continue to do so. And then our last bit of big news this week, I kind of wanted to dive into. Stream Elements. Stream Elements came out with their State of the Stream for Q3 2019. I think it was right at the end of Q2 when we started our podcast. I think it was like our third episode or so. But it's always interesting insight for streamers and for viewers on different streaming platforms. Stream Elements is how do I describe it? They create alerts and they keep track of stuff for streamers and that sort of stuff. So they broke everything down with some of the big news this week. So kind of one of their big points was Ninja going over to Mixer didn't really affect Mixer's growth. Created more awareness of the plan or of the platform Mixer, but it didn't really promote any increased viewership. Facebook Gaming has overall pretty much all the hours watched per platform were down this quarter, except for Facebook Gaming, which went up a little bit more. But that's pretty average in the fall. I think it's usually has something to do with all the new games coming out. Viewership falls down a little bit. They made a point to point out that Twitch's Just category is growing immensely. It's kind of beating out pretty much every other platform on there. It had more growth on their Just chatting category than any other category. And it seems like anytime I've logged into Twitch, I see more and more people, more and more streamers I know just hanging out in that category. They break down some of the more popular games, that kind of stuff. Fortnite viewership has dropped considerably. And with Ninja leaving Twitch, some of the other top 5 streamers have kind of seen a sort of shakeup. Some of these other channels grown considerably. Asmongold jumping straight up. He's a World of Warcraft streamer, and a lot of that has to do with Ninja being gone, and then World of Warcraft Classic launching. I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts so far on these numbers? Anything stand out to you?
I mean, it's interesting that Ninja didn't really raise the growth that much in Mixer. There was a little bit of growth, but not a whole lot. That surprises me with how big of a channel he is. But I would like to see Facebook where that red is. And then eventually where that purple is. Sorry, Twitch streamers. But I am interested to see if the trends keep going with Fortnite falling off the bandwagon, or if it's gonna just spike back up. It's hard to say because Grand Theft Auto spiked back up and is now falling back down. Minecraft is still huge. That's interesting. I
don't think Minecraft will ever die.
Yeah,
that game will never die.
I just want to see in the top 10 games streamed. I just want to see, I don't know, something ridiculous that nobody would ever. The Mean Greens. I just want to see that be number 1 for a little while. It's Army Men. It's an Army Men shooter. I just want to see that. That'd be awesome. I play that game. That's why I want to see that. I guess it's your typical stuff. I have noticed that in the fall time over the many years of streaming now, yeah, I get way less views, and I think you're absolutely right when you say it's the new games coming out, because there's always a new Call of Duty game, there's always a new Assassin's Creed, there's always something that a bunch of people are going to play, and they don't want to watch people play it until after they've had their fill of it, and it's so. We shall see. Maybe one day Facebook will be number 2 and then number 1.
What do you think, Mad Queen? Any numbers, anything stand out to you?
Yeah, definitely. I kind of like the fact that, and I didn't expect it, that Facebook and Mixer are kind of neck and neck. Like, I would think that Mixer had a little bit more viewership, especially since it's kind of like a Microsoft deal. You can stream it from your console and so on and so forth. But the fact that Facebook Gaming is a few 0.1% above Mixer, I think is saying a lot. What is Mixer really doing? Ninja didn't say he's going over the Facebook, and yet Facebook is still doing their thing. And I feel like they came out a little bit after Mixer had. So even to say that Facebook is newer or fresher than Mixer is, and is still doing a little bit better, is saying a lot.
Well, to give a little history, Mixer's been around since 2015, I want to say. It was 2015, 2016. Back then it was Beam. And then 2017 is when Microsoft bought them out, changed them to Mixer. And yeah, they are integrated with the Xbox platform. I mean, there's a whole tab on there just showing Mixer streams and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Facebook has been out for... what month is it? October. It's been out for 1.5 years now. Hasn't been that long. Q1 of stream, when the state of the stream came out, Facebook was smaller than Mixer. Mm-hmm. Last quarter they came out and they were, I think it was about the same as Mixer. Now their Facebook Gaming's ahead of it. Right, and obviously we're a little bit biased because we stream on Facebook. That's that's where we love doing it, but
we're not just awesome.
Facebook's been aggressive with they've been aggressive about stealing streamers too, about poaching streamers. When they launched their gaming side, they picked up a Stone Mountain 64. They signed him, and he was kind of the big launch. Come check out Stone Mountain, and then other people were welcomed in to do it. When Destiny 2 moved over to Steam at the beginning of the month, right before that, Facebook picked up a whole bunch of other contracts with pretty much the top Destiny streamers over on Twitch. True Vanguard and Darkness has been over there on Facebook for a while, but they picked up a whole bunch of people on there. And it cracks me up because I still that Facebook is beating out Mixer, because I'm sure you still get it, Justin. I don't know how many times I'll get like a random person coming into stream and is like, "Oh, I didn't know you could watch games on Facebook." Yeah. Like, I didn't know this was a streaming platform. Yep. Still get it here and there.
Yeah. They're definitely, I see, more integrations for it coming out. Like even on my Facebook app on my phone, they now have the tab at the bottom for Facebook Gaming, and it takes you to streamers. It takes you to content that's been uploaded or articles or whatever's been posted related to gaming. If you're in gaming groups, that is also somehow categorized under that. And I feel like they're doing a good job of kind of pulling that all together into its own entity. So seeing the numbers and seeing that Facebook is doing, better than Mixer, I think Mixer needs to figure out why something that has recently just launched less than a year or close than a year ago is beating them out. They need to figure out what's wrong with what they're doing, I think. As far as YouTube gaming, I just think YouTube is just always going to kind of be there because, they're the original video content creation place. Like they're just always going to have their little niche or their little cut of the pie. And Twitch being strictly dedicated to gaming kind of has their foot there as well. And that's why they are leaving the biggest footprint for now. But as far as, Twitch and them seeing that just chatting is being the most viewed category on Twitch, I think it has a lot to do with when people look for streamers, they are looking for not only gameplay, but also sometimes personality. And then a lot of times as a streamer on Twitch myself, sometimes I'll start off on just chatting and forget to change my category. So it won't even pick up that I actually played a game. It's just up under just chatting. So I feel like if they had a way to kind of automate that type of that process of switching over to capture what game you're playing as opposed to accidentally staying on just chatting the whole time, I think that might skew those numbers a little bit. But outside of that, just chatting and also Twitch creative and all of that is creating a big footprint over on Twitch because people are able to kind of display other talents that they have outside of playing games. And it's almost like playing games is becoming a platform to catapult something else off of. Like I play this game, but hey, check out my art that I do, or I play this game, but I also have a podcast or whatever the case is. So I think Twitch is kind of trying, in a sense, to be the live stream version of YouTube, and I think that's why that section of their website is growing more.
Well, you've always had it kind of divided up to where pre-recorded videos do better on YouTube, right? You don't see anything like that at all on Twitch, very rarely.
Mm-hmm.
And Twitch has always dominated live streaming. Like the live streamers don't do as well on YouTube. Even people who do both on YouTube, who are big names on there, their live streams still don't do nearly as well as their pre-recorded content.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of been the nice thing about Facebook I've been enjoying is it's a mixture of the two. It seems like your live videos do just as well as your pre-recorded or vice versa if you've got good enough content on
Mm-hmm.
both of them. But yeah, I think you're right. Mixer needs to do something. I don't know what it is. I don't have any advice to give, but they've got such a small user base compared to pretty much any other website. I think the only other major spot I've seen that has a smaller user base is DLive, and they really haven't been around long enough to be competition with that. But I mean, that like Facebook's been nice because you've already kind of got that built-in audience of people who already use Facebook. That's why we've enjoyed it so far. You'd think Mixer would kind of be in the same predicament where you've got the built-in user base of Xbox players, but they're struggling to get people to watch. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
hopefully they get it soon.
It's because they don't have me.
They need your beautiful blue swoop in your face.
They need me.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, Fortnite maybe is on a downward spiral now. Maybe it's finally losing its edge a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Not hating on Fortnite. I'm just okay with that. I see so many people streaming Fortnite. I'd like to see something different.
Is there anything in place of it that is kind of like taking its shine now, or is it just people are losing interest? Will people in general lose interest in the battle royale type of game style? Because it seems like once like Fortnite and then PUBG and all that stuff is like everyone was trying to create a battle royale. Fallout 76 randomly made a battle royale. It's like,
yeah, I think it's just it's one of those gaming trends. It's like how like music games were the trend all of a sudden. You had Guitar Hero and Rock Band, and then you had asymmetrical games, Dead by Daylight, Evolve, all those coming out. I think battle royales are just another gaming trend. I've been burnt out on them for a long while now, and I think gamers in general are getting burnt out on them. Where you see PUBG has been on the decline for a good 6 months now, and I think Fortnite's finally hitting that as well. It's natural. People get burned out. I am still surprised to see PUBG in the top 10 on Twitch. That did surprise me.
Yeah.
Considering how much their player base has dropped on Steam, it's dropped a lot. Most people, most streamers I've noticed, not just on Facebook, but other platforms as well, I see more and more PUBG players doing PUBG Mobile.
Yeah.
Because that's much better built. So I'm curious what the number of PUBG Mobile players are, because you can still get the PC emulator and it still feels you're still basically playing on PC, just with downgraded graphics, but way better support for a game. I'm curious what their numbers are compared to the actual Steam PUBG.
Yeah, I feel like battle royales are a good game mode, but that's it. I don't think
it should be the whole game.
Yeah.
I think that's why Call of Duty's did so well. Is Blackout was a mode, but
because you could switch it up.
Yeah, you could still
Yeah,
go back and
if you're
fight.
not doing well in Blackout, you could go back to some multiplayer and get a whole bunch of kills there and feel better about yourself.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So I feel like it's a good mode. So I don't think the mode will ever die, but I don't think it's gonna be as popular as it is. Next, we need vehicle carnage. Let's see. Let's bring out Twisted Metal. Let's bring them back and do it battle royale style. That'll be good.
Be down with that.
Yeah. I'm wondering how long has this Stream Elements collection of data been going on?
The state of the stream.
Yeah, how long has this kind of been
around? I think they've been releasing these for a few years now. I don't know when it started.
That's interesting. I see what is this? I see Grand Theft Auto 5 is kind of on a decline, and that game has been going for years. And I'm just wondering if maybe development companies kind of use this information to say, hey, who's playing, who's streaming our games? Oh, it's on the decline. Do we now need to start working on Grand Theft Auto 6 or, whatever the case is?
Yeah, so the important thing to remember with this is this is based off of Stream Elements data, not Twitch's data or not Facebook's data, that kind of stuff. So it's done by people who use Stream Elements. That's how they collect the data on it. Okay. So if somebody's not using Stream Elements, like I don't personally really use Stream Elements. I think I've still got their bot on my Twitch channel, but that's about it. It's not going to collect for me.
I gotcha.
I use them. They do all it's and everything.
Yeah. So it's not like this is 100% what it is across the board, and there's going to be like more hours watched per platform, but they use this as kind of a as like a census. They interviewed 10%.
I see.
It's like doing a survey. Yeah, they take 10% of it, and this kind of gives you a general idea of trends and that kind of stuff. It's still, I'd say it's still fairly accurate because there's a lot of people that use Stream Elements. Yeah, that it gives it a good enough sample. But yeah, they release these every 3 months on their website, and it's good info to have.
Yeah.
But that's our news for the week. So we will go ahead and move on. We wanted to let some of our listeners know some of the games coming out this week, so that they'd be excited. Psychos Crash, you want to read them out? Tell everyone what's coming out this week.
We got Moons of Madness coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC October 22nd. We got The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 3 for PlayStation 4 on October 22nd. All you wrestling fans, get ready, get oiled up. We got WWE 2K20 coming out as well on October 22nd. And then Lonely Mountains Downhill for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, Max, and even Linux. That's really weird to see announced, but that's coming out on the 22nd. We got Cat Quest 2 coming to the Switch. Still don't know what it is. People seem to love it. That's going to be on the 23rd. Call of Duty fans, it's that time of year. I know most of you have already bought it. You got the 4-day pass coming, but Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, let's be clear on that, is coming on the 25th. And then we have Medieval for you retro fans. I'm excited. You should be excited. Also coming out on the 25th. And for everybody who's been waiting, I know I've been waiting a long time. I know Jace has been waiting a long time. We are finally getting the Outer Worlds on the 25th for all platforms minus Linux. So
Linux is a weird one to see on there. It doesn't happen too often. Although I am really curious which is going to outsell better, Call of Duty Modern Warfare or Cat Quest 2.
Call of Duty will beat Cat Quest. I think Outer Worlds will beat
I think
it.
I'm going to put my money on Cat Quest. The internet loves cats. Makes sense. It'll sell better.
It's
Heavy competition.
I'm not gonna lie. It's like a little RPG, and I don't know. It looks cool. I might buy it.
So that's our games coming out for this week. A couple big titles there. Excited for them. That's going to bring us over to our roundtable question, which honestly I feel like we kind of touched a little bit on earlier. But my question for everybody this week was, if it was up to you, what video game crossover would you like to see? Bring in one franchise to meet up with another franchise together. What kind of crossover would you like to see?
Mega Man X Castlevania.
Ooh, I actually feel like that would isn't that just Metroid?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, you got the handgun, and I feel like that's Metroid.
Yeah, Metroidvania, but I want it specifically Castlevania characters and Mega Man characters, and the world just collides. You get to play as both. I'd love to be Mega Man shooting Dracula in the face. I think that'd be great. Or Alucard taking on Dr. Wily. And it would work because both the games kind of played the same. They're both in that Metroidvania style of gameplay. So, but yeah, Metroid Prime 4. Where are you at?
If I can it be two genres or does it have to be two titles? I guess two titles.
Yeah, you can make up genres. It's a make believe question, whatever you want.
Yeah, I would like to see a zombie survival Final Fantasy, but turn-based Final Fantasy. So basically, a zombie survival RPG turn-based combat.
Zombie JRPG.
That'd
be very interesting. How Japanese are we going?
Like, have you guys seen, and this is not Japanese, but have you guys seen Train to Busan?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Those kinds of zombies, but in a turn-based RPG.
That'd be interesting.
That would be interesting. I think that there's already a couple that I wanted. I know the other week we were talking about it a little bit. Said how they wanted Overwatch characters in Smash Bros. I would totally be down for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I still would like that. Although I would like to see another hero shooter. I don't know what I don't know specifically what universe I would like to see it from, but Smash Bros. Set in an Overwatch style game would be kind of fun. Go the other way. I think I would enjoy that.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that.
Peach just pulls out a Glock.
Oh my gosh. Who would you see as like from the Smash Brothers world? Who would be a tank? Who would be a support? Who would be DPS? Like just like 3 characters.
Oh man. Donkey Kong is tank.
Yeah, Donkey. Yeah, that's an easy one. He's Winston basically.
Yeah.
Peach for support. She could do heals. And then what was the other one?
I feel like Kirby would be a healer. You'd like suck in your teammate and then spit them out, and they get buffed.
I don't know.
You could save them from getting like one shot at the last second, and then spit them back out even stronger.
He could be OP though, because since he could take people's powers, he could just suck in the tanks and then just be the tank. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Kirby would be a weird one.
He'd be a flex. He'll be the ultimate flex character.
Right.
Just 8 people just constantly curbiciding off the side of the map. That'd be great.
Yeah. I think it could be really fun. And especially if you took like some of the maps from Smash Bros and put them more Overwatch style, like Pokemon Stadium would be cool. Or battling through Hyrule Castle, I guess that'd be your Eichenwald.
Yeah.
I'd have fun with it. I'd like to see more hero shooters. I love hero shooters.
Yeah.
Let's get a Uncharted hero shooter. Oh, they kind of have
that. We are nearing the end of our hour for the podcast, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up with our rapid fire questions for MadQueen88. So I'm gonna ask you a whole bunch of questions, and then Psychos Crass is gonna ask you a whole bunch of questions, and you need to answer as soon and quickly as possible. Don't get any answers wrong, or there'll be consequences. Dire consequences.
Consequences.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Are you ready? All right. First question: Chuck E. Cheese or Five Nights at Freddy's?
Chuck E. Cheese. Terrifying.
Who was the second president of the United States?
The guy on the nickel.
Which video game is considered to have the worst launch of all time?
Uncharted.
Favorite color?
Green.
Whose four faces are represented on Mount Rushmore?
George Washington, the guy on the nickel, the guy on the penny, and a faceless man.
Best weapon in the zombie apocalypse?
Baseball bat.
Baseball bat. All right. For my questions, Chuck E. Cheese was the right answer. Second president of the United States, not the nickel. It's John Adams. Nickel guy was actually third.
Thomas Jefferson. Right?
Yeah. Video game to have the worst launch of all time, E.T. from Atari. They literally buried him in the ground. There was too many of them. Favorite color? Correct answer was green. Whose four faces are represented on Mount Rushmore? It was Lincoln, Washington, Jefferson, guy on the nickel, and Roosevelt.
Okay.
And then best weapon in the apocalypse, that was open-ended. That was all yours. All right. Psychos Crass has questions for you now.
All right. Best movie of all time.
Best movie of all time, Mean Girls.
Okay.
That was right.
It's not what I would have said, but okay. 2 + 2 + 3 + 2 + 5 - 9.
Got down 47.
Did you say 47?
Sorry, that's a social media joke. Someone out there will get it.
I'm old. I don't get it. It's okay. Tacos or pizza?
Oh, tacos.
All right. Sam has 2 apples. Joyce has 6. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck?
If a woodchuck could chuck wood.
There you go. Best video game of all time.
Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Oh, Zelda was correct, but it's Link to the Past.
Mm.
And
Okay.
best movie of all time, in my opinion, is Lord of the Rings: Fellowship of the Ring.
You did very well. You get 7 gold stars out of 6.
Hey.
So that's going to be our podcast for the hour. Do you have anything you want to plug, Mad Queen?
Outside of my wonderful, wonderful Twitch channel and community, The Conquest, please drop by and follow there. If you're interested in seeing me freak out playing zombie games and other things, please check me out there, MadQueen88 on Twitch. I do have a YouTube channel. I haven't been uploading as much as I should, but you might want to check out some of my older stuff there on YouTube. It's also MadQueen88 there. And yeah, that's about it.
All right.
I've enjoyed myself. Thank you so much to Walking Jace and Psycho Crass. I got it right the first time I said it. Yeah, I think that's an extra star. 8 stars out of 6 there. All right. But yes, thank you for having me, and shout out to everybody in chat. Thank you for dropping through.
All right. Psychos Crass, what do you want to plug?
You can find me over at facebook.com/thepsychoscrest. You can find me on Instagram at psychoscrest. You can find me over at Twitter at thepsychoscrest. You can find me on LinkedIn at thepsychoscrest. And that's it.
All right. And I'm Jace. Go by the Mocking Jace TV. You can find me by that name literally anywhere. If you guys have any questions for us, comments, anything like that you want to ask us, feel free to send us an email at justfaceitpodcast@gmail.com, or you can send our Facebook page a private message or join our Discord or there's a million ways to reach out to us. We stream every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific on Facebook and YouTube, and the audio version of this podcast will be up later tonight, but uploaded weekly. Until then, we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Bye.